Good morning, everyone. This is our New Level Parenting, Dr. Charles Dent, and I'm Jabaria Dent. And thank you so much for those of you who may be joining us, or those of you who may see this recording later on. We just wanted to launch something and put something out there for parents to help you maximize during this COVID-19 crisis. So, babe.
Well, it's just, so some of the things that we want to make suggestions to you while you're in this season, it's very important that you find ways to maximize your time, max out with your kids, because sometimes your kids going to get bored during this season, and you got to be very creative in this time. And because I was saying to a group of guys, it's amazing now you dealing with having your kids like 6 months out of the year instead of 3 months. So you got to make some kind of adjustments for them. And those for parents who are working and trying to find ways to get your kids more involved in different activities. I think when we're doing this webinar, it's going to help you find, hey, here's some more tools. Here's some different things you can use to be successful during this season.
So what we're going to do is we're going to share our screen with you. We put together a PowerPoint for you to have as a resource so that you can go back to it and be able to interact with your kids, maximize your time with your family. So I'm going to go right into our PowerPoint, and let me share our screen with you so that you can see what we see. There we go. So we want you to be able to engage in the social and emotional process of our children. So COVID-19 is really transforming the way our children view a lot of things, from health to social interactions. We know that our children were already very digitally connected, but in this period of social distancing, it has forced them to be even more digitally connected. It is transforming the trauma of maybe losing family members to COVID-19, the trauma that goes with not being able to be in school. As my husband said, they're now at home for 6 months out of the year. I think about, as an educator, our teachers and our students, our seniors, they're not going to have a traditional senior year. Their senior year will be like any other senior year in history. They don't have a senior prom. They're not going to have a baccalaureate. For those schools that celebrate that, they're not going to have senior picnics, senior trips. Some of them may not even have a commencement exercise. And so as you're dealing with the trauma, as you're dealing with the crisis and how to help your children navigate through that time, here are some things we want to help you do to help them maybe shift their perspective, think about things a little bit differently, and as well as for you to be able to deal and address their fears, their concerns as children, as young people at all stages of development. So we're going to dive into the principles of the playbook.
Well, here's some of the other things I'll say, guys. You think about other countries who may not have the opportunities to do the things we do. I mean, they don't have a baccalaureate. They don't have commencements. They don't have the education process that we have. And you think about, how do you max out and how do you take advantage of the things that you do have right now in this particular time? Because a lot of times we can evaluate things from one eye or another eye, but it'd be interesting when you learn how to say, hey, I'm gonna just take advantage of what's presented to me. It's because I thought about being in a third world country. I thought about being in situations where I didn't have access to certain things. Digital world came along later on, but you got to realize some of the things that you can max out now, and then you can look at some of the habits that you're carrying in this season that you might want to deal with. So we're going to help you out with a few things with this. And I think the beauty of it all is learning how to find different ways to be creative. It's like, if you think about this is a good season to use your creative juices to say, hey, we can do some other things. And one of the things that you're going to hear us talk about is finding ways to do certain things. I will talk about this as we go along, because it's pretty cool.
So the first thing we want to do is, if you're watching this or if you view this later, we want to get to know you. So drop us your name, drop us your children's name. We don't need any personal information, just their name. And if you could describe your family as a song title in this season, how would you describe your family? So, baby, how would you describe our family as a song in this season?
You want love and happiness? Yeah.
I did that too.
Yeah, but I mean, because it is loving times, happiness. I mean, it's neat when we sit around and have meals, and we're having so many more meals at the table. It's like it's love and happiness. It's just like you have to find a song, because sometimes a song will lift up you, but it also lift up your family. So that's what I feel, love and happiness.
My song is Staying Alive.
Oh, staying alive.
Because I think about how I'm the budgeter, I'm the accountant of the family. And so my energy is managing grocery bills for children for 6 months as opposed to 3 months, all day, every day. But it's been great. It has been a blessing. It has been an awesome time in the life of our family. So I'm Jabaria Dent and Charles Dent, Dr. Charles Dent. Our children we actually have 6 children, and you will meet them in the next screen. We have 6 children between the two of us. Our oldest daughter is Jessica. And then we have twins, Megan and Chelsea, and our son, Christopher, our daughters, Sherry-Ann and Kennedy. And then we have 2 4-legged children, Lady and Carter.
The 2 4-legged.
Our 2 4-legged babies. And so that is our family. And like I said, my song for us is Staying Alive, and my husband's is Love and Happiness.
Yes.
So who we are, for those of you who may be watching this webinar and you've never been to one of our sessions, you've never had a chance to interact with us live on Facebook, please start. First, go to our Facebook page, interact with us. There are links to our personal pages. Feel free to connect with us, follow us, like us. But we have, as a couple, there are certain mantras that we live by. And mine is that you have the power to write your own life story. So write one that your children are going to want to read.
And mine is, you don't have to raise perfect children, just healthy ones. Because a lot of times we think our kids need to be perfect, but we have this utopia type mentality thinking that everything around our kids, they're not going to make any mistakes. They're not going to make any choices that's just maybe bring regret in their life. That's not life. Life is, they're going to make choices. They're going to make mistakes. It's not utopia. It's not a perfect world. You don't have perfect kids, but you can raise healthy ones. And sometimes we get bogged down with that because we try to measure our kids to the kids of other people and not knowing how they have a healthy child or have a healthy environment in which they can grow.
Awesome. And so together we developed New Level Parenting because we wanted to create a resource to help families succeed. Our story is a very blended story. Our children come from previous marriages, previous relationships, and even adoption. And so we have a very unique backstory. And so we're not coming to you from this utopian perspective. We understand what it is to be in failed relationships. We know what it is to be single parents. We know what it is to be adoptive parents and taking on all of the baggage of a child's past that wasn't the life that you would have intended or planned for them. So we bring all of that to the table to try to help you and coach you so that in the end, you can be your child's life coach. So our goal in New Level Parenting is to help you do 3 things: to help you clarify values as a family unit, to help you create vision for your family, and define what success looks like for you and your family. Because success looks different to different people. How we define success may not be how you define success, and vice versa. But we want you to be able to clarify the vision. What I know that I will be successful as a parent, or I know that my family will be successful when, and then you be able to complete that sentence.
Well, and the other thing about it, everybody remind yourself something that we talk about when we look at this. And if you think about success and what your parents consider success and what you consider success and what society considers success, success can be just getting up out of bed in the morning, just being able to walk and talk and have a conversation. You have to be able to define it. And it's not just a broad picture, it's step by steps. It's a journey. And so you have to identify certain things to be successful. People, you have to be very careful because like my wife and I say, hey, we come alongside you to coach you through this. We, you know, even in difficulties, because I love the difficulty situation because it gives them the opportunity to think through some things that we may have never thought through before. So yeah, enjoy this journey with us.
And the last thing is we want you to create your voice, to be able to cast your voice and communicate your values and your vision, and to give your children a voice through communication. How do you communicate with each other? How do you communicate with yourself? What is that voice inside your own head telling you day in and day out? And so those are our goals as an organization to help you as a parent so that you can create healthy goals. Now, let's get into our topic for today. Our topic for today is wake up, get up, and walk. So, how do you see your situation? Do you see this time during COVID-19 as a battle that you have to fight to win, or a challenge that you have to rise up to meet? Because your perspective is going to determine the decisions and the choices that you make. So the next question is, what is the value that you place on your family's physical, emotional, and mental health? Because when we talk about staying healthy, I think a lot of us, especially in the midst of this pandemic, we think of it in terms of your physical health, being coronavirus free, making sure that, you know, you don't have the antibodies of the coronavirus. And to be sure, that is very important. We're not minimizing that. But there's a whole other bigger aspect to this, your emotional health and your mental health. Because let's face it, a majority of us will never have the coronavirus. But if we operate in the spirit of fear, if we're fearful, if we're stressed out, if we're paranoid about the situation, it's almost worse than actually having the coronavirus. You can heal from the coronavirus, but how do you heal mentally and emotionally from the drama and the emotional toll that it takes on you? So when we talk about healthy, is your family healthy across the board? And so we want you to be healthy, completely healthy.
Well, so let's look at some of the things that we're talking about now. Go back for a second, because one of the things you look at this, because you know, you heard my wife says that she's like the bookkeeper in the family. So the key thing is not just the physical, emotional, mental health, but you got to look at financial health. You got to look at all the health that you got to have in your family. Because even if you're not financially healthy right now this season, you could get into a panic state. You could get into a state that you live with fear. You could get into the state that you don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. And so those emotional pieces, those thoughts that you're having right now, and I've been working on this one piece I'm working on is the habits that I have in my mind. And so if I got a habit, and my routine is to always, when something happens, I think it moves me to fear. It immediately moves me to fear. I need to find out what is the root cause of that. As soon as I see my money is just starting to act funny, does that move? What is it triggered in my life? So that's why I love this, because your perspective is, how did you get that perspective? How did you orchestrate that, the way of thinking you have right now? So we're gonna love this, I tell you. Let's go to the next one.
So Extreme Family Makeover, one of our favorite shows to watch is HGTV. From Hometown to Love It or Listed, Extreme Home Makeovers,
Flip and Flop,
Flip or Flop, all of the different editions. We love all of that.
We binge on that, you know, we really do. We just
uncover us.
Yeah, we just love it. I mean, I love it. I love it because and then our son got involved, and the kids get involved in the back watch and everything. The houses, how houses are made. It's amazing what people are doing.
But one of the things we noticed when we take and look at HGTV and we lay it alongside life, we find out that there's a cost associated with change. Whenever a family is getting ready to do an extreme home makeover, one of the first things the designers ask is, what is your budget? That lets them know how far they can go in the parameters of the redesign or the makeover. And so anytime you get ready to make a change in your life, just know that there's going to be a cost associated with that change. It might not be a financial cost, but there's going to be an emotional cost. There's going to be a habit cost, a time cost, an energy or a focus cost. There's a cost associated with change. And so the first thing you have to ask yourself is, am I willing to invest what I need to invest to make that change.
And you know what? Another thing is we look at the house and we see the rewards. I mean, so I'm dealing with this now. I'm reading one book now. Lord changed me. And then I asked the question, and I love it because a lot of times I don't want my wife to change to suit me. Because we can bully people to change. We can try to bully them to suit us in their change. But an extreme makeover is to ask yourself in this particular season, is this a time to remake our family? To just go over and say, hey, what is it? Because I told my wife, when I wrote this, one of the pieces I put in there, I said, we can have a dream, but a dream will cost you something.
Mm-hmm.
We never say, I have a dream, but what does it cost me to make that dream a reality? That's why I love this HGTV, because they ask, what is the budget?
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you exactly how far we can go into the change.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll love it. I'm telling you, I'm excited.
There is work,
right.
But there's a reward.
Yeah.
And the reward on the other end, when you go into, and the thing about a makeover is there's a time, and some of them, when you walk into the house and everything has been taken out. And sometimes they've demolished the house down to the studs. And so for some of the shows that allow the homeowners in during the renovation, you can see this fear and panic in their eyes, like, what happened to my kitchen? What happened to my bedroom?
Yeah.
What happened to my bathroom?
Right.
I don't see anything but some boards and some studs
right.
and some drywall. Sometimes I don't even see a floor.
Yeah.
But then you can look and you can also see part of the job of the designer is to keep casting the vision. Yes, but your closet is going to be over here. You're going to have a new bank of cabinets over there. We're going to put in your kitchen sink and your farm sink and your stovetop. And so your island, with a waterfall edge. Their job is to continue to cast the vision. And you can see on the faces of the owners this look of relief, and the fear slowly changes to excitement.
Right.
Because on the other end of all the work is a reward. And so if you understand that on the other end of all the work you're about to put into your family, all the work of getting up in the morning and cooking breakfast and sitting at the table and talking through and having those difficult conversations with your children, on the other side of getting up in the morning and going walking through the neighborhood as a family, or doing those projects around your house that you've been putting off, at the other side of that is a reward. And it's so worth it. It's so worth the work. Anything else, Steve?
No, let's get to this. All right, so here's the plan. So what are we doing today? All right, I love this. Wake up, walk, wait. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Okay, so what are you doing today? Ask yourself every day, is there a plan? Remember, go back to some of the basic things. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Just look at some of the things that you're planning to do. I like this because it's so fun. When I woke up the family, hey y'all, it's time to go exercise. I was shocked that Shay got up before everybody. She was ready to go. She's like, I'm ready to go. I'm like, okay, all right. So everybody got up and we went in our neighborhood, ran and walked. And so everybody been doing this. If we're not doing it together, they're doing it. We're still doing it. What are we doing? Yard work or walking in the neighborhood? But you got to get out the bed. One of the worst things, I was listening to one of our coaches that we have in our life. He said he still get his son up like he's going to school to work on the projects that he need to work on. You can't let your kids get lazy, because once in the 6 months period, what's going to happen, they're going to be so used to staying in bed that they're not going to want to get up. So you got to get them up out the bed, say, hey, you're going to do certain things. I don't care if they lay down later on in the middle of the day, take a nap. But the key thing is you got to wake them up. It's like, hey, wake up, let's get this going, right?
So we want to go over some morning routines that'll work. Fitness for your family, and games that'll bring everybody to the table. So there's some resources that we've embedded in this presentation that we hope will help you, if you use them, to help get you started through the day. So wake up. So as my husband was saying, set a regular bedtime and wake up time for you and your kids. Like my husband was saying, if your normal bedtime is 10 o'clock, don't stay up to 2 in the morning. I have a lot of students, because I am a teacher, and so we're doing virtual learning, and my students' circadian rhythm, their bedtime, their wake and sleep times is completely off. So when we're up and available as teachers to do interactions and hold Google meetings and work with them, they're still in the bed. And my phone starts going off at around 5:30, 6 o'clock for, hey, Miss Dent, can you help me with this? Miss Dent, can you unlock this? Miss Dent, I don't understand this assignment on Google Classroom. Well, at 5:30, I turn my work computer off and I'm switching gears into family time. And so as one of the things, and this is for parents who have students that are doing virtual learning, help us teachers out. Keep your children on a regular schedule. Now, I understand the bedtime might be extended by a couple of hours, but you can't go to bed when the sun is coming up and then wake up when the sun is going down and expect to be functional. So that's my biggest ask as a teacher, as an educator, and as a parent. Set a regular bedtime and a get up time. Our kids still typically will get up between 7 and 8 o'clock. No, it's not 5 or 6 o'clock, but we're not sleeping till noon.
Yeah.
Except our daughter who works.
Yes, but the thing is, we understand that. But you gotta understand. But when we working out, we work exercise. She get up and go, and she'll go too. Here's the key thing about it. You know, look at the screen. Set a regular bedtime. Wake up at a certain time. In your night, determine how well your morning will go. Because regardless, you're creating habits. Just the bottom line is, you creating habits that sometimes may be difficult to break later on. You know, it takes a time to overcome these habits. You know, it may seem cute, it may seem nice, but you got to ask yourself how these habits serving your kids, especially in virtual learning. You got to have a time to get up. Hey, let's spend some time. Let's exercise. Let's stretch. Every psychologist, every psychologist will tell you, psychiatrists will tell you, doctors will tell you, your morning routine is going to determine a lot of things that happen in your life. It's a natural thing. I learned it when I was in the military because I thought getting up early was crazy. 4 o'clock in the morning, I thought it was stupid, crazy. But after a while, my body adjusts to that. And then I got used to getting up early, but I accomplished more in that day because I set my schedule to do more. It's amazing when you have that kind of discipline that you get up and get started with this.
Yeah. And begin winding down an hour before bedtime. Shut down your screens. Pick up a book or just lay and meditate and allow yourself to drift off. Begin allowing your brain some time to shut down. I know now that we don't necessarily have anywhere to be. It's easy to just binge watch. I have been guilty of just watching TV until you fall asleep and then dragging yourself up off the couch into the bedroom. Try to avoid that. Give your body some time to decompress from the day.
Now think about it now, baby. Remember when I first shared with you this, you had to look it up. It takes women more time to shut down than men because women have so many things going on in their mind, and sometimes women don't see that. That's why I used to recommend, and we don't have this in our bedroom, I used to recommend to women never put a television in your bedroom. I said, because what's going to happen, you might go to sleep, but that TV is still on. Your body is still can't rest. Because you have that sound going into your ear and you can't rest. And you try to figure out why you wake up so tired and exhausted, because it takes longer for a woman to shut down than a man. Man can just crash. We can walk in the room, no lie, my wife knows this. I'm done. I'm gone. It's over for me.
Has no idea when I come to bed.
It's just like that's right. If she come late in the bed with me, I don't know what time she got in the bed. I don't know. I just don't know, because it doesn't take men as long as shut down women, because it's genetic in y'all DNA that y'all have so many things going on in your mind at the last moment that you try to figure out what you're going to do tomorrow, if you work at what I'm gonna wear and all this other stuff, and you have a difficult time shutting down. That's why I try to tell my wife, get away from that, because you're going to create a habit and you're going to wonder, why do you wake up so restless and you didn't seem like you slept at all, because how you shut down the night before.
Wake up to something fun, like a song or a favorite smell. I don't have to get my kids out of bed. The minute they smell bacon or eggs or anything cooking, they start, it's like in the cartoons, you see when people start floating into places, it's like they just get up and float into the kitchen. And so have something for our kids to wake up to. Give your kids a reason to want to get out of the bed. Look, if you're not a first responder or an essential employee, then 9 times out of 10, you're home. You're quarantined with your kids. And so give them, even if you don't, you might not have bacon and eggs. You might just have some cereal, but still give them something to get out of bed to look forward to. Yeah. And it launches your day for success. So wake up, morning routine, get a morning routine that works for you and your family. So the next one is walk. Oh, okay. So walk. My husband said everybody can't run, but you sure can walk. So he and they run. My daughter Shay and I, we are the walkers of the family. So embedded in here was a cute, funny video on YouTube about how to walk, even in your house. It's a walk a mile in your house, but don't make exercising optional. Even if it's just to get up and take a walk through the neighborhood, if it's getting up to do some yoga stretches. Look, the internet, YouTube has tons of free exercise videos. You don't have to pay for a subscription anywhere. You don't have to pay to go to a gym now. By the way, you can put all those gym memberships on hold, put some extra money back into your household. That's an extra $10, $20, $50, $60 a month that can come back. Because now you can't go to the gym, you can't use it, but you can still stay active.
Yeah, and the thing is, don't, like my wife said, don't make it an option. Stop giving yourself too many options. Get your tennis shoes on, go walking in the neighborhood. You'll find out that our neighborhood, we find so many people walking. There are people walking in the day, they make noonday, at night. They're just walking all during the day. It's nice. We speak, we still got the 6 feet apart. Hey, on the other side, whatever. But the key thing is we getting the chance to know our neighbors. They get the chance to know us. You never know if you just get out and walk. Just it's going to help your blood pressure. It's going to, and some people who got diabetes and everything, it can help your immune system. It helps. If it didn't help, I promise you, it wouldn't be talked about as much. Gyms won't be open. Just, yeah.
So walk, don't make it optional. Now breakfast. Breakfast is still the most important meal of the day. It's your opportunity to sit, find out what your children's plans are for the day. Keep it fun, keep it light, and it doesn't have to be anything spectacular. Like I said, if you got cereal and some milk in the refrigerator, that's breakfast.
Well, what about today? We doing this webinar. My kids already stuck their head around. Like, so let's see. I think I'll go ahead and do breakfast this morning. Then I'll think about what about French toast today? It'd be
French toast today.
Yeah, she loves my French toast. The boy. All right, you have to be creative. I love to do meals, and we both do. Be creative for the kids. They love they are guinea pigs too. So we try new things with them, and they love it.
And look, if you're not a cook, it is okay. It is okay if you're not a chef. Guess what? This is a cool time to explore cooking and learn how to cook. Get you some recipes offline. Again, you don't have to spend any money. Get some simple 5-ingredient recipes, and that includes the salt and the pepper. Get you some some quick recipes. Really. Teach your kids how to cook. This is an awesome opportunity for you and your kids to get in the kitchen and just have fun and be creative and do something new. Make some new memories.
Yeah, and that's what you're doing. You're creating memories. Because, all the things you're doing, you are creating memories. Let them have good memories of this coronavirus. Let them have good memories. Hey, I didn't, my school was out, but man, my family, we had fun. We doing things. We doing all kinds of crazy stuff around the house. Find new things you can do. Just be creative. And that's why I believe this is a good season, so you can find your creative juices. And I love doing it. I love cooking. My wife knows. I love it.
And I love eating his cooking. So it's a win-win situation. And the last thing is weight, bonding over games. My husband asked yesterday, he said, baby, we haven't had our weekly game night. Yeah. And so there are some board games for every age group. I went online and I did some research. And in this presentation, there are a couple of links to board games that are age appropriate for your younger kids, your adolescents and your teens. and even young adults, some board games that you all can do as a family, from Life and Candyland, checkers, chess, Clue. There's some really cool things that you can do together as a family.
Now, she didn't grow up like I did. I mean, we did. We had marbles. We played marbles outside. We did Foursquare one time when we were in Dallas. I mean, we just loved even the grandmother played Foursquare. So if you want to do an outside game, you could do that. I mean, I remember hopscotch. She called it. Okay,
I played hopscotch.
But anyway, hopscotch, do stuff like that outside. I like what one of the person, what Kathy said. She said she's outside, her and her daughter, they drawing little motivational things on the ground. I mean, do stuff outside as well. I mean, I love Foursquare. Well, I love hopscotch. I love playing. I was the marbles king. I take 5 marbles to school and I come back with a bag full of marbles. I love playing marbles. I mean, so you can find other things outside to play. I mean, just find creative things. I'm telling you, I love it. I love playing hopscotch too. I mean, other stuff too. I play jumping jacks, you know, like the jump ropes and stuff. Oh, wow. Oh, see, she said, oh no, I love that. The double dutch. I mean, get 2 rope, double dutch, all kind of stuff. That was so fun. So you can do those exercise, those still exercise, because it takes a lot of breath. You know, but you can do a lot of things like that. Be creative. And some of you are older, teach your kids how you used to have fun outside. Get a frisbee, throw a frisbee, do different things. I mean, it's amazing what you can go back to. So the old school come to play now. Old school. Old school comes to work out now.
Our age difference is showing.
Because old school used to know how to do things outside. I mean, I remember, and I'm just sharing this, baby. I remember building a kite and flying a kite. You get newspaper and a piece of rope and a string and make a kite. And this, I mean, yeah, we used to get the stockings. Y'all don't wear stockings. We used to get the stockings my mom put on the end. And we used to go out and fly kites. And we used to see who kite can get the highest. I mean, we made them out of paper and stuff of that nature. So I'm interested in doing stuff. We got this bamboo pole here. I'm thinking about going out and say, hey, baby, let me just make a kite and show the kids how to make a kite and go fly a kite. That'd be cool. And then we're gonna do some fishing later, you know, go fishing stuff. But yeah, it's fun.
So we want you all to take this information, to take this and maximize your time. Make the most out of a bad situation. Nobody wanted or expected that 2020 would bring with it COVID-19. And yes, it is rewiring us in a lot of ways, some of which are not so great, but it's all about how we approach it. So I challenge your perspective to think about things differently. Today, we just wanted to give you some tips and some tools and let you know that we're all in this together. We're all feeling the effects of COVID-19, but there are things that you still can do to make this time great for your family. And so we hope that this has helped you. Like I said, check out our website, inbox us with questions, join our email list, get on our list so that we can send you some tools and some tips and information as we get it. We want you to be the best life coach for your child that you can be. And it starts with you being healthy yourself.
Any other slides for you?
I don't think so.
So
there's a survey on Google. If you would, complete the survey and tell us how we did. Give us some feedback. Let us know if there's some other topics that you want us to look at or want us to do a webinar on. We plan on doing Saturday Morning Edge every Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning. So join us and let's get through COVID-19 together. Join our family, and we look forward to seeing you in the very, very near future. So this is Dr. Charles Dent, Jabaria Dent, signing off. Have an awesome, awesome rest of your day.